My name's Greg Taylor, co-founder and CEO of Steam Whistle Brewing. We're down here in the Roundhouse, which we call our Cathedral of Beer, at the base of the CN Tower in Toronto. Lumpy, our 49 International pickup, was our first truck. We realized we like to call it our one-car parade. When you drive down the street in a vehicle like this, everyone notices because it's a vintage truck and because it's painted green, has our logo on it. And people really connected with that first vehicle. In fact, people would call us and say, "I saw the truck driving down the street. I went and bought a 12-pack of your beer. It tastes great." And from there, we saw this as an opportunity, a fairly affordable way to build top-of-mind awareness and let people know, hey, we're here. We're a small business. We don't have a lot of money. Let's drive around in vintage vehicles instead of just regular cars. So the small town I grew up in, St. Mary's, down by Stratford, I saw one of our neighbors drive by in this truck. And his name was Diesel Joe. And I went out and visited him at his shop and asked him if he'd sell it to us, and he said, yeah, he wanted to start another project, so we bought it from him, we painted it green, and that's how the whole story started with Steam Whistle's vintage vehicles, and we never looked back. Over the years, we've had a total of 14 vehicles. We still actually have a vintage bus. It's a 1964 bus that the inside and the outside is all redone, and it's a great experience. Pick people up at a location if they're going to come for a tour of the brewery, and they get on it and then they start living the 1950s. So that's a lot of fun. Most of the vehicles are vans. We like to actually pull up to an event and pour beer right on the side of the vehicles if we can, and that sort of adds the experience of the moment, especially at parties. But generally we want to be able to drive around, do promotions, show up at events, and these vehicles represent what we're all about, which is overbuilt quality, retro, age of innocence. If you have this, for example, at a trade show or something, that's really all you need. In Ontario, we were running with these vehicles, and they're petrol vehicles, and as they get older, they can be, kind of smelly on the road and make a lot of noise. And one of our employees moved out west and to be our Vancouver rep. And he said, listen, environmental consciousness is very important out here. And I think that the older retro vehicle, it creates a lot of smoke on the road and people are complaining about it. What if we took a Chevy pickup and converted it to fully electric? Because then you'd have all the age of innocence, the retro feel, overbuilt quality, but this modern environmental ethos all in one package, which all those things are important to our brand. So Mike Corrali, our Vancouver sales rep, his vision would be to have a hot rod rigid retro vehicle that was electric powered. So believe it or not, when it came out in 2011, it had 500 foot-pounds of torque. And actually, you can go on YouTube and see the video of this thing doing a burnout. Very popular. The only problem was there was a practicality issue around that. So years later, when we moved it to Toronto, we decided to do a rebuild on it, update it, because a lot of things have changed since 2011 in the electrifying business. And what we have on the road now is much more practical. It doesn't have 500 foot-pounds of torque, but it gets there, no problem. It's a great truck. Retro Electro was not operating the way we needed it to. It wasn't getting the distance that we needed out of a day's travel. And my son has a business called Beachman. It's electric cafe racers, and his partner is a genius when it comes to electric conversion, Steve Payne. So we talked about the possibility over the winter, when they're a bit slower, when bikes aren't moving like crazy, that they could do this reconvert Retro Electro and update it. And so Steve took a look at the vehicle and decided that it was doable, and he's just done a brilliant job on it. So it's a Beachman conversion of Steam Whistle Retro Electro, and we hit the roads this summer with it. We're pretty excited. So Retro Electro has been with us since 2011. We plan on keeping her as long as she'll stay with us. She's going to need an update every once in a while, but now that's on the road in the summertime, you'll see it in the GTA at different events. You'll see it down at the Roundhouse. If you really want to see it, come down here. It's based down here. It's often here for baseball games, etc. But it'll be wherever doing a promotion, whether it's on a golf course or a big party or event, you'll see Retro Electro. It'll show up there, and you can have a chance to check it all out.
My name is Steve Payne. I work for Beachman. We are primarily an electric motorcycle builder in Toronto, Canada. Our motorcycles qualify as e-bikes. We're currently going for full motorcycle status.
Everything I look around looks like a 58 Chevy.
Yeah, we are. It's a 58 Chevy Apache that's been electric converted. It's actually had technically 3 electric iterations. It was converted first, I think it was 2011.
Right.
And then done a second time maybe 5-6 years ago. I'm not sure the exact date. And then ours is the latest one.
And so to set off, you just press a button, and we're in drive right now.
We are in drive right now. Yeah, it's really, really simple setup. 3 buttons: reverse, neutral in the middle, drive forward. If you multiple the drive buttons, you can actually turn on different levels of regen depending on how you want to drive.
Beautiful.
Traffic.
Let's head to the lakeshore.
Okay.
So when you got this, it had already been EV converted, but the goal was that basically that conversion was done really early in the EV converting space. And what was the goal for this iteration of the EV powertrain?
The goal for this iteration was purely daily driver. Was and as low maintenance as possible, but really, really daily driver. The original conversion on this truck was very much a hot rod conversion. It was all about power. It was all about burnouts, spinning the tires. There was actually a line lock.
It was pretty full on then.
It was really full on. There was no question. This was kind of made for the track.
And so, essentially, what powers it now? I mean, it's still EV, but like, what's it from?
It's a full Nissan Leaf, I believe 2017 Nissan Leaf drivetrain. So it's we call it the stack. It's the motor on the bottom, the inverter that matches the motor in the middle, and then on top, it's the power management or power control unit.
And then in the bed is where the battery lives, right?
Yes, we took a complete, like not even unsealed battery out of a Leaf, and we lay it in the bed. We obviously, it's bolted down, and then we have the cables right in the back that we can plug and unplug, like virtually like any other Nissan Leaf type thing.
And so it's still front engine, rear drive, still goes to a drive shaft, right?
Yes. Yeah, there is I don't know if it's the original, there's a 4-speed transmission. We believe it's locked into the 4th gear for best possible highway sort of range type thing. And the motor's torquey enough that we're able to start from 0, no problem.
And this is a full usable vehicle. It'll do 100 kilometers down the highway,
yes.
No problem, all that.
Yep. And that was kind of the whole goal, was to make it power brakes, power steering, everything really comfortable, so that, twist a key and hit the button and go was really the goal. So that's, you can see the pedal off regen. That's so the one level 1.
So the regen of the Leaf is basically maintained, whatever the Leaf had for regen.
Yeah, it's kind of different with our programming. It's way less complicated, right? The original Leaf brake booster had a lot of sensors in it, so it would kind of play off, line pressure sensor. This one is kind of just a pedal off, right? It's
right.
Pedal off. There's an amount of drag on it. If we went into like the level 2 of regen, you really feel the pullback. We kind of find level 1 is sort of nice, right? You can kind of let it off and drift to a stop sort of naturally.
And it charges with just a Nissan style charger, just plug it in?
Level 1, level 2, and I think you can actually do the high-speed DC as well.
Wow.
On this as well. Don't really recommend it. That really pushes the battery and degrades them quicker.
And what kind of range could you expect out of this thing, roughly?
Our goal, in the original car, it was probably at just a bit over 100 kilometers on the charge or whatever. If we can get 50 to 70 on this is a way heavier truck. It probably weighs 3 times more than the car did. So, it's got fat tires and funny suspension and all kinds of stuff. Everything about this is not about.
It's not very efficient.
No, it's not about efficiency. It's about looking cool. And really, with Steam Whistle, their thing wasn't major highway driving or anything. If it has to go far, they'll trailer it just because of the age of the vehicle, and just in terms of that, they really wanted to just be able to get around town type thing without having, like in town kind of range anxiety. So it's way more than it's really needed.
And what's it like to drive? What's it feel like on the road?
It just kind of feels like driving a car. Yeah. Right? There's power brakes, which are wonderful. There's disc brakes up front, which would have been way more than the original truck had.
Right.
And there's power steering, electric assist power steering on it. So it's easy to drive. It's really easy to drive.
So you just hop in, you turn the key, and you press drive, and that's it.
And that is it. Yeah.
Could be simpler. And so how would you say the driving experience now that's even EV swap will compare to like a bone stock 58?
Well, we really paid attention to all the rattles and things that originally came associated with pickups, and we really wanted to not have it at all. And so we would take it out for, you know, shakedown drives around the block. And if, you know, if the bed was rattling on the back, we'd cushion it with like a piece of rubber trim type thing.
Right.
We really wanted, you know, the driving experience to just be, you know, as good as a new car. Kind of feels that way too.
And how do people react when they see this thing or when they learn it's electric? What do people think about it?
People think it's wild, just because you don't expect it to be on, you know, like there's a lot of people are electric converting their stuff or whatever. This probably wouldn't be the first thing that came to mind.
Right.
Just being the nature of it, and, you know, being this old, being this heavy metal type thing, it's you know, I think that's what's kind of cool, is it catches people off guard.
Right. What makes the Leaf such a good donor for parts into a conversion like this? Because obviously nobody sells a swap kit for a 58 Chevy EV conversion.
Yeah. The beauty of the Leaf is, because sort of the go-to, and we do it as well, is Tesla, right? It's a much more stronger motor, but for a Leaf, you can take it apart from its transaxle and directly bolt it with some adapters onto
a conventional transmission.
Yes. Right, so you kind of get, and the shape of it and sort of the outline of it is much more engine-like.
It's kind of engine shaped. You pop the hood and it kind of looks
it just
like
looks
an
like
engine.
it. Yeah, if you went with a Tesla, say like a small drive unit or something, you could do it, but you'd have to decouple the inverter, because the nature of the Tesla is the motor and the inverter kind of make one big cylinder.
One happy family.
Yeah, and you can break them apart because it's just wires and electronics, but it's not quite as nice and clean. Tesla's more suited to, like, if you have like a CV axle sort of drive,
independent rear kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, but you guys have done such a beautiful job with this. It just feels like production level. I mean, it's still an old truck, but it's quiet. Like you said, you guys have chased all the rattles out of the build quality. It's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, our guy Kyle is, like I said, he is obsessed with the fine details. I love the big splash. I love the taking it out, throwing it in, proof of concept. He's all about the finishing. And so, you know, his credit is the quietness of this car, and everything else is really a credit to him.
Well, thanks for taking the time to show us around and take us around the block in this car. And
absolutely.
It's an amazing kind of cool thing to check out. And I don't know, it's a sunny afternoon. I think it's about time for a beer.
This was the perfect day. Well, and we're in the right place.
Exactly. Amazing work, and thank you so much for your time. And where can people find out more about your bikes and your EVs?
We Beachman on Instagram. And Beachman.ca, obviously, and we're brick and mortar. We're in the west end of Toronto, in the Junction. Our assembly plant is our shop. Anybody's free to drop on by and check out the bikes, check out the conversions.
And like you said, you're working on making them plated real motorcycles that you can drive on the highway and everything.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, our CMVSS application is long in. Hopefully, I get the phone call any second, and we are thumbs up on that.
Well, thanks for taking us around the block. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.